music?
Oh,
music. You know that it's louder than that. I was just like, it's fading off. That's awesome. Who's this? Fantasia. What? You don't know? I know who Fantasia is. I just didn't
You didn't know this was her?
I didn't recognize the song.
We got you better. No, we look like a cell phone tower.
It's fine.
Is it the tape or the me?
Like what, short? I mean, that's not what I mean. Oh, thank you for joining us on the Blunt Truth. I'm Tabby Harris. I'm here with my boy Jamie and Sean. How y'all doing today?
I'm alive.
You alive? Okay, that's a great thing. You don't often get people in the show.
That's right.
I might though. You never know.
I hope not. That sounds like a feather crime.
It can happen. You know, the spiritual world. You never know what can happen. So, today's topic, we're going to be talking about lies and telling the truth and what people really want to hear and all that jazz. So before we get to that, got a couple of things. And I forgot to do this the past couple of weeks, but I wanted to talk about the wedding that we did. You know, how wonderful that was. I put some pictures up on Facebook, and it truly was one of the most beautiful things. You did a fantastic job. So definitely want to tell them people a little bit more about what you do so they can contact you if they need you.
Well, the name of my company is Sean Michael Great Events. For right now, just playing with me. I do a lot of weddings, a lot of any type of promotional things that you guys need going on. But yeah, that's what it is. I'm winning for that. From start to finish.
If you're interested, certainly you can contact either one of us. Instant message us on Facebook or Instagram. But if you want to see some pictures, certainly you can look on my page. They look amazing.
Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, you know, when you want stuff, you gotta act like you want it. So maybe somebody will contact you. Yes. So, Jamie, what's up with you lately? How's school going? School's finished.
You thought school was finished because of traffic?
No, I thought like elementary school and all that was done because of traffic. Public school, college was out. Okay, well, good. So, are you enjoying your break from school?
At this point in life, it's not even like, oh, okay, cool, I get to work now.
Well, that's how it is.
That's all it is.
One trade off for another.
Yeah,
You guys go on.
yeah.
That's good though. It's all about the money, right? So,
Absolutely. Not all of it.
it helps.
75%.
So there's another thing. If you're looking for good places to eat in Atlanta, if you want to know the best spots for entertainment, we have a friend, her name is Oni. She has a website called Oni in the City. So you can check her out on Instagram, ask her questions. If you need something kind of last minute, you're looking for a particular environment or atmosphere, she can help you out with that. She's pretty good. So she has lots of little plugs on Instagram. So check her out. It's Oni in the City, ONY in the City. So she's going to be sponsoring us for this next month. So we'll be giving her some plugs. So if you can get in contact with her at Instagram, certainly send me your information, and I will put it through. If you have any questions, I'll say. With that being said, lies, deceit, deception. How are we doing with that? What do you think? Certainly everyone does it. So the thing is, people lie for lots of reasons. We lie for ourselves, to avoid suffering, painful consequences, maybe some shame and embarrassment, or conflict. We have self-interest lies to get what we want, and that's what people do. When we're talking about our image, we have lies that are going to, because we want other people to think well of us. We don't want people to think that we're bad people, even though all of us do less than respectful things. Instead of being honest about it, we cover it up. We also have resources. We're allowed to avoid doing things. Like if you don't want to help somebody new, you might make up a lie, or you don't want to go to a particular place or that kind of thing. You might make up a lie and then lie to other people. How does my dress look? Oh, it's amazing. How's that haircut? How are those shoes? That kind of thing. So, of course, I wrote a song called Secrets, and it says that the truth serves no other purpose than to hurt somebody, keep it to yourself. And although I kind of believe that, it's not very functional these days. So, come to your thoughts. What do you think?
Jamie. I mean, to me, lying is when you're. I don't know. I just feel like when you just talked about how somebody might ask you how a dress looks on them. Like if you don't be 100, if you aren't 100% honest with them at the moment, I don't think you're a liar. I think you have to take stuff into consideration. Like you don't want to ruin somebody's day by saying, "Oh, you're terrible," even if that's the truth. Like you don't want to do that. Like nobody is like, "Oh, I'm gonna tell them they look like trash right now."
I mean, I don't know somebody.
I mean,
not trash.
If it's a friend, if it's a friend, and they trust your opinion without getting offended, I would. Like if my friends ask me how something look, I'm like, "You look a hot mess." But if it's somebody you really don't know well,
but you're asking for my opinion.
Yeah, but still,
obviously you feel like you don't look that great in what you. I had one of those little issues yesterday.
I still feel like that's a touchy thing. You never know. Just telling somebody they look decent might make their day instead of telling them, "Oh, you look terrible." So I don't know. It just depends on the situation who I'm dealing with at the time.
I think it depends on where you are.
That's just certain.
And you called me yesterday to ask how you looked, and you look really good. But if you called me from the event that you were going to and asked me how you look, for me to be like, something like you before you left the house, you might want to go change. It's too late.
Yeah, that's what it's situation. Yeah, I think so. But in general, I think, lying, in general, I don't endorse it, but it just depends on what situation it is. Because that's a very, I don't know.
Well, Brandon says everyone does lie.
Everyone doesn't?
Everyone doesn't lie. I don't believe it's a natural human characteristic. Everyone lies. Whether it's a white lie or just a lie in general,
it's human for me. Like you come out the room lying. Period. I don't care what nobody say. Yes, you've been lying since you was like 2 and 3. I know I have. Well, what you got? Nothing. And they can see it. What you got in your mouth? Oh, nothing. Where is that? I don't know where it's at. I don't know what happened to it. That's lying. That's you not being truthful about the situation. We've been doing that since birth.
That's self-serving. You don't want somebody to know what you have.
Yeah.
You don't want to get in trouble. That kind of thing. You weren't supposed to take that, and they know that you have it, so you're gonna lie about it, trying to get out of it. Those are reasons why we do things. But we have lies that can hurt people's feelings. Because. And there's a difference between lying because that's how you feel about a situation, or lying to put your opinion on somebody. If you're out and you see somebody doing something because you don't like it, doesn't mean they don't look good. So if they ask you how you look, and they say, "Well, I don't think you look good," but that kind of thing. That's kind of different. But as far as just outright lying, especially when you're dealing with other people. Do you think people really want to hear the truth, especially in relationships or, when, in general, when you're talking to your friends about situations, do you think that people really want to hear the truth? I mean, they're asking for it, but do they really want to hear it?
I think if you get to some kind of title as far as friendship or relationship, if you know me long enough, you'll know that if I if I deem you valid enough to be in that kind of inner circle in my life, you're going to get the truth. Whether you want to hear it or not. Period. Me and my best friend have disagreements about stuff all the time, but at the end of the day, he respects it because he knows I'm being honest with him and I have his best interest in my opinion at heart when he gives me my opinion. But if you can't handle that, if somebody can't handle the truth, they really just can't be around it.
because we got into like a disagreement. It wasn't taped, but it wasn't anything bad. But it was just a discussion we had about, does environment play a bigger role in how people's lives turn out, or is it self-determination? And we got into it wasn't a big disagreement, but we had like an hour conversation about it, and I disagreed, but we still was like, okay, I mean, I respect your opinion. That doesn't mean you're a bad person afterwards because you think differently than me. We just disagree about something. So if you can't be an adult about certain situations that somebody telling you the truth, then I think, it's just certain people aren't going to be able to do it.
And that's the key word. It's all about, like you said, being adult about it. And, we're thinking about, when we're asking people for their opinion, we're kind of hoping that they're going to be on the same page with us. We're kind of hoping that, yes, you think I look good, and yes, you think that's good for me, or
that's true.
That kind of thing. And I remember years ago, and Trey's on this, he's always my example point, but I asked him one time if I was working out, if I had gotten too big, and he told me yes, and it had just, I don't know, it was like the whole universe around me just crackled, but it put me in a different mind frame for working out more. But initially I was like, oh, wow, that was the truth, but it had an impact. I was like, oh, it's like, it's like, well, you might have gained a little bit, you could probably work out a little bit more. He was just like, yeah, you did. It's like,
that means I would, that's.
So those are kind of truths I'm saying. You have to be able to handle it. I mean, I can pretty much handle anything, but I think your average person is not really wanting to hear the truth. They don't want to know, because when you start telling the truth to people, when you start being really honest with people, then people have to actually face themselves. And I don't think a lot of people want to do that. I think people would rather be undercover. They'd rather walk in the shades instead of in the light. And you have to have pretty much a pretty strong character to deal with truth.
I mean, I always ask that question of, do you really want to hear the truth? That's just knowing who you're dealing with. But if it's somebody that I really don't know, that's asking my opinion, then I just kind of just leave it to them. I tend to not do that. Sometimes if I don't know how to say something, then I'm just going to go ahead and say it, only because, if there's no easy way of saying it, hopefully as a friend or whatever, you can appreciate the fact that you actually bring it to your attention or whatever. But yeah, I kind of just asked the question, do you really want the truth? And a lot of people don't really for that type of thing. Because I don't think they've dealt with themselves. If you're asking for like, if I have on, what I have on is like really cute, and I don't think that your confidence is step out there. That's why I'm saying that. I definitely love it.
Let's go deeper than that. What about truth in relationships? Do you think that people should be totally honest with each other, or?
Yeah. I mean, the truth comes with communication, right?
You have to determine when people are ready for certain truths. That's my opinion. You can't just throw everything at somebody at one time. It's a way that you can say things, and it's a time to say certain things, within context. Like, I just think that matters. Like, you can't just spring certain stuff on people in certain instances and be like, oh, I don't know why they reacted that way. It's just like you have to take stuff into consideration before you do it. Like,
sometimes wait to be asked.
Yeah.
Like, if you just come out someone like, I'm going to be truthful with you, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Nobody asked you for that.
Yeah. You have to determine when certain things are proper. Because saying the right thing at a bad time can end up not being great. You have to do things at certain points.
You can choose your battle.
Yeah, but it's not even a battle. But I understand what you're saying. You have to take stuff in context. Like, if somebody had a rough day at work, they come home and they let you know my day's been terrible. Like, why would you spring something on them that would make that day even worse? You see what I'm saying? So you have to take stuff like that into consideration. Like, I'm not saying you're wrong for wanting to tell somebody something, but if you notice somebody is not having a good day, and you're gonna tell them, hey, I noticed I noticed such and such, it wasn't so great or whatever. And they're like, what? Really? Like, was that necessary today? Like, you couldn't wait to tell me that after I've, kind of, got myself together a little bit. Like, there's certain ways you do things. Like, you can be right, and if you do it the wrong way, it's not gonna achieve the effect you want it to achieve. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, in a sense, I think it's kind of stuff. If someone does that, it's kind of like putting what I got going on before what you got. So
When you talk about getting to know people, on that particular journey, you should be able to understand possibly how it's going to affect them if you say certain things. So when they ask you a question, pretty much knowing that person how to answer that question. There's the direct approach, and there's no kid gloves on. And there's sensitivity that should be added to the mix. So you can tell the truth and still be sensitive about it. You don't have to be a total bastard when it comes to it. But you have those people that walk around and I see that little red symbol 100 all the time. Keeping on 100 is not. Right.
If you have no control.
And because someone's has confidence behind what they say, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth. Sometimes truth gets mixed in with opinion. So we have to be strong enough to be able to deal with those things, and also be strong within ourselves to be able to look, that's not what's going on. So you sound like you do what you're talking about, but you don't. That kind of thing.
So a lot of that going on nowadays.
Yes, we have a lot of that going on. Some people saying some stuff. Let's see what we got here.
That's a good people.
Brandon says, it takes a true friend to tell you the honest truth. Anyone else, I would be offended in my head, thinking, did I just get disrespected from the truth the person just gave me? If you was in a relationship, you're going to have to be truthful. Trey agrees with you, Jamie. It's steps to it. People ready to put the 100 somewhere. Hey, Peaches. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate that. So overall, I think that, we're going to decide that it's situational, but, lies can be, small lies turn into big lies as well. You can tell a little lie about something, and sometimes you have to tell another lie to cover that up. You got to remember who you told what to. You told this person this thing and this person that thing, hoping they're not going to get together and talk about it. There's all kinds of ways that lies can go wrong. And I'm sure we've been in that situation. I'm not sure. I know I've been involved in situations like that. When people have told me different things, and then you talk to someone else and you told something completely different.
I didn't say that.
Right.
All right. See, at this point, I'm fair.
Right.
I hate petty stuff like that.
Yeah, it is petty, but it's also, it makes you wonder who you're messing with. Because sometimes the lies can be so good that you don't even know. You just won't know. You're just lying.
Yeah.
You're just eating it up, thinking that everything's all great, and you're just lying to your face. You're not being truthful about anything. Those things bring out the whole other beast in you. You can be just things can go wrong.
It's like a little lie too. If you lie to me, it's like it negates everything you've ever said. I have to get out of that, or do I? I think that's something I'm doing with myself, but I don't. You just like people that just know me just can't lie to me because it's just like everything that you think, especially in a relationship. It's just for me, it just kind of negates everything that you ever. And sometimes it'll be so small. And I'm like, all you have to do is just tell me something or whatever. Even if we go back and forth about it.
That's the thing.
I respect that.
That's the thing about lying. I feel like that's kind of doesn't really make any sense. Is one, ultimately, people are going to find out if they're lying. Two, you lied because you made an assumption about whether how somebody was going to react or what have you. And you could have just, just communicated it in a way and saw how people felt about something instead of just lying about it. And then having to find out in a particular way, that makes it even worse.
What I love is when you get caught in a lie, then you get mad because you caught in a lie. And you
You
try to,
get arrogant at the
Right.
same time about it. Yeah.
you know that you're caught in a lie. The person you're like, why do you think I'm lying? I'm not lying. And the whole
Just
world is
come
telling you that you lie. Right. Just come clean and get mad about it. Come clean. But don't start another argument to try to take the shade off of take the
Now,
light
you
off what
lying
you're
about
doing.
some crimes, I understand. I'll be lying too. But if it ain't nothing that serious, come on. That's just unnecessary. You robbed the bank and you trying to cover yourself up. You do all you gotta do.
But you nevertheless have a little orange juice. So yeah.
So we also have
yeah,
to
that's
throw,
just stupid.
we have to throw in perspective. Alice says that you're right, Sean. It brings everything in the past into question. And I absolutely agree with that.
Especially if you're like, if you've already been through enough. Like this has been said in the beginning, like, okay, I'm already broken. You know what I'm saying? I'm not expecting you to break me anymore, but now you're telling me lies. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're not helping my situation.
So that comes with the whole fantasy kind of thing. You know, when you were in a situation, everything always ends up in a relationship anyway. So when you're in a situation, in a relationship, whatever, and you're being fed what you want to hear. Everybody's kind of, they know what you want to hear. That's just, those people that are trying to pull the wool over your eyes. But they're saying exactly what you want to hear. And it feels really good. You're saying everything right, and you're just eating it up. So then eventually you find out that all that's just BS. And
Is it really BS though? Because some people just genuinely feel like that. Like, they can just.
I'd be like, alright, enough.
And that's kind of like.
Because I'm already dead inside everything. All that's talking, so I'll be like, alright, you can keep that. That's please stop. Like, now
this is at 23. Imagine him when he gets.
I don't like stuff like that. I don't do that. I'm sorry.
But still.
Because it's like, just don't. That's just not, I hate stuff like that.
Okay.
Just like, don't do that.
No, I don't. I'm not saying this to feel like you're inexperienced, but you all kind of at the gate. So
no, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when people go out of their way to try to, woo you up.
Right.
Like, don't do that.
So you have to put perspective in there too. So when you're talking about being honest with each other and telling the truth, everybody has their own kind of perspective on or their take on what's being said and what's being heard. So if we're talking about a situation, even if you're just friends, so my perspective might be that you or not. Because sometimes people can be very stubborn and you don't see it this way.
Some people they're so set that they don't want to see it any other way but them. Like, I'm gonna help you. Like, they're so one-sided. Like, it's just how they see it, and that's that.
I think people do that a lot. I said when you admit to that, then you have to face what's actually going on. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and start taking it, just not own up to it. So we don't have to put some figures to get this or get this. It's so lot. Lying is lying. There's just degrees of it.
That's a crime.
But lying is lying.
That's criminal activity.
Your best friend might kill somebody and the cops come to you, but you don't know. Everybody's very good. There's all kinds of reasons why we do it. Is it acceptable? In some situations, it might be, but we have to think. Sometimes we have to think about other people and how they feel or how it's going to make us look. Because like the first one I said is we lie so people can see us in a particular light. So, we're doing all kinds of stuff, and we've done all kinds of stuff in our past, which doesn't really matter today, but to some people it might. So they might lie about it. Just gonna come to light. No.
I mean, I agree with you, but I'm not gonna do that. Like, I don't care how you see me. Like, I'm at a certain age. Like, I don't care. Like, accept me for me. Like, the truth, the whatever, all that. I'm hopefully just gonna at that point you do that. If that's me, like, he's dead on my side.
So you want to know? So really, you want to okay. It's like when you're getting to know someone, you're showing them just certain parts of yourself. or you feel like you're this particular person and you're around them, and you're not seeing the whole story. They're not seeing that you might have issues with like depression, or you might go bipolar, or little things like that you're aware of, but you don't want to put that on the table because you're happy in the situation and things are going well, or you're excited about getting to know this person. But do you think that's something you should tell them up front?
I feel like a lot of people in this day and age are like putting things at the forefront just so that they don't have to deal with that whole, oh, I've been talking to this person for 6 months and I finally just told this person this is X, Y, and Z, and now we're not talking anymore. I think a lot of people is putting like themselves to the forefront and their issues. Well, not on the first date, you know, like not that. No.
But people, and you're right. Teachers, it is trickery, and but at the time, people have all kinds of reasons to do what they do. I think one of the main reasons is, you're not quite secure enough with yourself to present the package. I tell people in my groups, I said, when you present yourself to someone, you have to look at the kind of package you're presenting. You have to look at the wrapper, and then you have to see what's going to be in that package when it opens up. Because you can go anywhere and get something wrapped pretty. You can put on A's and look really pretty, but once they get to know you, once they get to know the inside of you, all the things that you talked about at the beginning is not what they want to see.
What package do you guys present when talking to somebody?
I think that was a question you should
Well, I'm just curious because do you
I don't.
Or do you present a package at all, or you just like some people just gradually get
You were
there?
talking about I don't have what they call games. I don't have that. That's just not me because I'm very analytical of things, and I'm just not. I would say I'm not that charming in my opinion. So I don't even really know how to present myself. Like this is me. Like, you'll get to know different sides of me, of course, because you can never present all of yourself at any given moment. I don't think that's possible. You can't show everybody exactly who you are all the time, because you're not the same person all the time. So, and you see what I mean? Like, you're not always the same person. Like, some days you might be like very happy. Some days you might be like, I'm alive. So it's just like, you see what I'm saying? So I understand your question, but I don't know. I've never been somebody who's like, oh, so I'm gonna do this, so they'll think this, or do that, so they'll think that. I kind of just be I'm myself, and
So how do you know that yourself is not charming? Someone.
well, apparently it is, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, that's just, I don't try to do that. That's just me being myself. But as far as me going out of the way to do certain things so that people can think I'm something, I've kind of never been that way. That's why I kind of feel like my circle has always been small, because I'm not trying to get myself in a certain group of people, or like I'm just like, hey, if we cross paths and we vibe, I hate saying that word because it's just like a little thing. But if we get along, we have some kind of common interest, we can have a deeper conversation. Huh? Yeah, it is. But yeah, I just feel like, I don't know. I've never done that.
I don't have
Honestly,
game. I
at
just
least.
don't. But how someone sees me, I have no control over it. I can only do it.
Right.
So I understand what you're saying as far as the game, because I definitely, it's people that hit me up on Instagram like, oh my God.
That happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I'm just.
Brandon said
I didn't expect you to be so low key.
Right.
That's true. You don't
That happens to me all the time. Like, if people don't know me, like, he tells me all the time when he comes to my job, because I see, outside of the show, I see him every time I'm at work. He's like, you just look like you're just pissed off. Like, you just have this mean mother in your face. And I'm like, but I'm chilling. That's just how I look. Customers even tell that to me. And once they get to know me, they're like, oh, he's fine. He's just existing. I don't know. That's just how I've always been. People say I'm intimidating, and I'm just like, I don't see how, but apparently that's just what I give off. But people who know me know that that's literally not who I am. Like, so
I don't admit, I struggle. I don't struggle with being myself. I struggle with the package that I want to present when I'm interacting with someone on a dating aspect. Because I have several small circles of friends whom I love dearly. So around my friends, I don't really have that issue. I can be myself and people that comfort them. I have, a few walls that I put up every now and then.
I knew it. I said he gonna do something.
So I try to get relaxed enough to bring those down, and but I'm not lying about stuff. That's not. I mean, that's a topic. So I'm not lying. I just a little hesitant about showing certain sides of me or showing until that trust is in. It's cool lately because I don't have to do that anymore. I feel like I can be myself with the people that interact with me. So I feel that's finally gone away. I don't feel like I have to work really hard on that. But I wanted to address a comment earlier about the whole bipolar thing. Brandon says people use bipolar as an excuse, but maybe people make sense. Mental health is very scary, especially with a relationship. But you're right. People use bipolar as an excuse to be a jackass. And if anyone knows anything about bipolar is not a moment-to-moment thing. Bipolar is not this way at 2 o'clock, and I'm a different way at 3 o'clock, I'm a different way at 4 o'clock. Bipolar is days or weeks of this, and days or weeks of that. You can be angry for weeks, and you can be manic for weeks. So that's bipolar. So if someone's using that term, and they're not on vacation, they're using it to be a jackass, and you're not paying attention to that.
You just crazy.
It doesn't mean people that have bipolar problems aren't aware of it and they can't talk about it. But people that use it as the excuse are just being jackass. Yeah. You're not bipolar.
People use words they don't know what they mean all the time. So just remember that.
Jerry says it takes a strong personality to get to know Jamie. He's heard it all before. Personality. It takes a strong person to get to know you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I don't just.
You're so no nonsense, so.
Yes, very.
You just have no time.
Very.
Yeah.
You
just have no time for that. Not only do you have time for it, you don't tolerate it. Like, not even for a few seconds. So yeah, it's going to take a strong person to get to know him. But I think we all want to interact with people that you can just be yourself around and accept you for who you are. It doesn't have all these preconceived notions about what you do. Like I hear all the time that I know this and I do this and I do this. Things that I do for myself, I don't really expect other people to do for me. That's a whole different kind of thing. There's certain things that I like and I take care of that myself. But as far as interacting with someone else, the only thing I want is truth and honesty and affection. Those are the things that I require. I don't require too much else. The whole line thing that you don't need that for the whole
So I'm an affectionate person. And I feel like I'm an affectionate person. But someone said to me, hold on, I was listening to us. They said, I'm not an affectionate person, so I don't do that. I can't show you how to be that way.
It's not going to work.
But for me, that's going to be a deal breaker.
If you need affection, it's not going to work. It's just not.
But what?
That's like if I'm holding your hand and you try to hold my hand. Yeah. That's right.
I mean, don't do it at that point, right. But at the end of the day, I appreciate your honesty, but this for
me. Brandon says I'm not high maintenance, at least not as a friend. I love that. Brandon and I go way back. Brandon go way back. I love him. He knows me pretty well. If he's seen
You ask for the most simplest things as far as just like trust and conversation. That's it. Communication. That's it. Simple as that. You can leave it on that. I don't know what to do.
That's a shame.
It is a shame. It's like the smallest things you have any rebuttal for or a lie for. And you, my thing is when you already know the truth, but you're giving someone the option to just like, okay, I know. Be honest. And it's the smallest thing.
That word. I love that word that you said. Option. That is a thing. When you become someone's option, you give them carte blanche to kind of do what they want. You have to let them know if you have to stand up for yourself, and don't let them just do A, B, C, D, and E on you.
That's kind of like
letting what's going on.
It's kind of like letting them know as well, like, hey, like, I'm letting you know that you're really not that serious, just telling me the truth. Maybe we can move past it. Maybe we can't. But at least, you know what I'm saying, what we get out of this is the truth.
People that are people that aren't happy with themselves are going to do all kinds of things to make sure whoever they interact with are happy. And it'll be very sneaky and very subtle, but at the end of the day, they want you to get used to that kind of treatment, that kind of behavior. So the goal is to get you in the mindset where they can say whatever they want to you and you believe it. But you're not going to second guess them, you're not going to talk back to them, you're just going to believe whatever they say. And those aren't going to be around it. But if you're not happy with yourself and you're feeling very lonely, those people can sneak in. Right. It's not so much about them, it's about how you feel about yourself. How you feel about yourself and what you decide is going to determine how much you're going to accept. Right. So, fool me once, I don't know. So maybe the expression is fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on you. You know how it works?
He doesn't know.
It's an expression. It's shame me once, shame on me, shame me twice.
Fool me once, or shame me once. No.
Well, I think it's fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me.
Somebody said something.
There was a version of that. Very cool. Give me an option, yes. Tell the truth and give the option to receive. Question, agree, or negate. Okay, I like that. Fool me once, shame on you. Okay.
Fool me twice, shame on me.
Shame on me, yes. That's good. It is, because it's simple. You've seen it. So at that time, you decide what you're going to do. You're going to let them do it again. You give them the opportunity. Figure out, you can change. Yeah. Usually, that's not how it works. Yeah, you can change people. You can change residents. You can change relationships. But you don't keep doing the same thing over and over again. And then I love it when they call you back later on, like after weeks or months have passed. They're like, I hope you're not still mad at me. Is everything different? Have you changed? Is everything the same? If so, why are you calling? Because the same reasons why we're not together now are the same reasons why I want to talk to you. Right.
People have all these red flags that they avoid. And the biggest one is, I thought what you said, it's okay. Somebody leave you. It's okay.
That's the thing.
I can't keep up with lies like that.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing I'm kind of tired of. People looking past stuff and then when they end up in that destination of trash, they like, I can't believe I'm here. Like, how bad? You saw all this stuff and you just chose to look past it because I don't know. But that's just, I don't feel bad for people like that. You can't loving somebody or thinking you love somebody is not an excuse to look past foolery. It's just not.
Yes, foolery.
That's foolery. That's
not.
If somebody's giving you all these reasons not to be with them, and you still like, oh, like that's your fault. That's your fault. I don't feel bad for you at all. You just don't care. You want to be in love so bad that you don't use your mind.
Oh my, that is so well said. That is true. People do that because people put anything for that title. Mm-hmm. Anything to say, that's my boyfriend, that's my girlfriend, that's my wife, blah, 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 just for that. So a lot of people do that these days.
It's ridiculous.
I mean,
going.
Not necessarily a situation right now, but it's just kind of like you're not being 100% with me. Like I feel like what you're not saying is equating to saying a lot, and that's the kind of situation. You're not telling me a lot, because I feel like you do feel this way, but your actions do not reflect what you're saying.
So you want advice from him?
I mean, I think more things very easily, so very easy. And I really like this. That's what I'm saying. Just
Teachers, you're right. I think it was my undergraduate. Second people show you who they are.
believe them.
I absolutely 100% agree. And don't just believe, make sure you see it. It's coming at you. So when you see it, you see what you believe. Believe what you see. That's important.
I've tried to avoid this in this conversation. I don't like to turn everything political. But this upcoming election, I feel like a lot of voters just want to hear, and I'm almost about to cuss. Can I cuss? You can cuss. A lot of voters want to hear certain shit, and especially black voters. I'm kind of getting to a point where I feel like we want to be pandered to. We want to hear people say we're gonna reform the criminal justice system. Like, and I'm not even saying that it's wrong, but it's almost like I keep seeing videos, especially of the Democratic candidates, and all of them sound the same because they feel like they have to say certain things to just get people's attention. And I'm not saying that that's wrong, but it's almost to a point where I feel like people are just saying what they want us to hear. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And like I've always said, I can respect candidates who will say, well, I don't necessarily want to do that. Like you ask every candidate now, are you for Medicare for all? All of them, except for maybe two of them, will say, oh, absolutely. All of them don't believe in Medicare for all, but they know it's what they have to say to get elected. Or at least win the nomination on the Democratic side. So I'm just like, you have voters who want people to say, "Oh, we're gonna bring this stuff. We're gonna bring these jobs back. Or we're gonna do this. Or we're gonna be able to do." No, they're not.
It's the same thing. People want to hear what's going to make them happy, and so you can hear it. They can say it.
Yeah. When Hillary Clinton went to, where did she go? She went to West Virginia, and I think she made a comment about like, "Oh, we're going to put a lot of coal money out of work," but in the same speech, she was explaining how she was going to retrain them in certain fields so that those jobs can be replaced. Because the truth of the matter is, coal only employs a very small percentage of people in the United States. So compared to renewables now, and that's going to keep happening because just about every other major country in the world is transitioning faster to renewable energies because it's what the future is. It's what now is in reality. So a lot of people got mad at her because she said that. And it's just like, you want her to tell you, oh, I'm going to bring all these coal jobs back, and you want her to tell you, yeah, you're going to lose your job, but there's an opportunity for you to gain employment in a growing field that has a future instead of you wanting to be stuck in something that's literally killing you.
So what do you think that people, black people, in particular, need to hear to make a difference? Because it's the same stuff over and over again. And it's the same stuff that doesn't change. So you have to, what is it that you think black people need to hear to make a difference? Because what I'm looking, because I'm all about the ones that wipe out student loans. So what's her name? Elizabeth Warren, whatever she does, she's got my vote. She wants to do that. Anybody that wants to wipe out student loans, I'm all for you.
See, the thing about that is, I think that's an ambitious thing to try and do, but in reality, actually doing something like that is going to be very difficult.
How many people get up there and do what they say they're going to do?
Right. So I think something that would be more realistic would be allowing people to refinance their student loans and allowing people to pay a percentage of their incomes annually on their student loans. And maybe after 10 years of doing that, you're done. Because the truth of the matter is, these loan companies they've already made their money back. The colleges have made their money back too. You're just servicing those women at this point. So I don't want her dead so bad.
So it is going.
She she may be dead for years. I know she dead, but I'm talking about Sally Mae as a whole structure. Sally Mae needs to die. But
I thought Sally was nabbing.
Hmm?
I thought Sally was nabbing.
Oh, yes, I get you know. But yeah, I mean, specifically, what do black people need to hear? I don't know.
When it says black people want reparations, and prison reform.
Prison reform. Okay, so I'm all for criminal justice reform. I'm all for prison reform. What I'm saying is, you have these candidates who are getting on stages and repeating lines just to gain the interest of black people. And then when you ask them in detail what exactly does that mean, they cannot explain it. So for example, I want to say like 2 weeks ago now, Bernie Sanders was at an event for colored women where you can only go to this event if you're a woman, if you're a woman of color. The moderators were women of color, and he was asked specifically what he would do, and he circled around and he literally started saying how he marched with MLK, and he was one of the only white people who endorsed Jesse Jackson here as president, which is like, why would you do something like that? So that just made me hate you even more. You endorsed Jesse Jackson for president. God bless him. He's done work with black people, but he could never be my president. I'm sorry. No, absolutely. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you have candidates who are just running and saying certain things because they know that's what people want to hear. When you ask them in detail, how are you going to get these things done? They cannot explain it to you because they're just trying to get your vote at the end of the day. So that's what I meant by I'm tired of hearing the same stuff over and over again. Even if it's the right thing to say, if I feel like you don't have a resume behind those words, like if you haven't actually been working on those issues before you ran for president, I can't take what you're saying as genuine because I feel like they know that that's what people want to hear. Like I'm tired of hearing it. And the election is not even close, but I swear I'm watching the primary process and they all sound the same. Like nobody is distinctive. Everybody agrees with the same policy prescriptions and it sounds the same. I mean, you have 23 people running sounding the same. Nobody wants to hear y'all because it's 23 of y'all and y'all all sound the same. There's nothing distinctive about you. Nothing. So at this point, I'm going to vote for whoever the nominee is and I'm done because it's just not interesting. They all sound the same. They all sound the same. They just do. I'm just like, I don't see any distinction. None.
I agree with you.
None. Just pick none. You have a couple of them who might feel like the private sector can play more a role in solving some of these problems, and those are normally what you call more neoliberal politicians who favor free market solutions to certain issues, and then you have the ones that are on the left who are like the government fix everything.
So politicians, are they vying for those?
Oh hell yeah! Every day, and that's what I'm saying. They're saying these things knowing the likelihood of me getting this shit done is like zero, especially in the current context. Like, yes, it has, and that's the issue. So if I'm running for president, if I was running for president right now, yeah, I would have policy prescriptions, but I will also caveat that by saying, look, unless we take back the Senate, none of this stuff that I'm talking about is going to have a chance in passing. You literally can't get anything done. If Democrats don't control the Senate and the House, none of this stuff these people campaigning on, free health care, and we're gonna get rid of student loans, free health care, infrastructure, Green New Deal, all this stuff that they're talking about, tackling early childhood education, all this stuff, none of it is going to happen. None of it. And even if it's something that Republicans agree with them on, just because of the fact that it's a Democrat in the White House now, they won't do it. They did it to Obama. He literally would put up legislation that Republicans sponsored and wrote just to see if they would even pass their own legislation. They would not do it. And that's exactly what's going to happen if a Democrat gets elected and the Senate is not taken over by Democrats. Nothing's going to happen in this country this is where this country is at. Unless one party controls the government, nothing gets done. This is just where we are. It didn't always used to be that way. It didn't always used to be that way because in the 90s, Bill Clinton, he did a lot of stuff people didn't agree with, but he was a Democrat president that had a Republican House and a Republican Senate.
Don't that, even with all that, we have a self-serving system right now. They need to understand, and we need to understand that people, that whatever's going on is not about the people that's in that room. It's about the country. And right now, they're only concerned with each other and what they can do for each other, and that's what it looks like. So then you have a bunch of news reporters that get on there and just speculate the hell out of every situation, not knowing what's going on, not knowing the truth about anything, not knowing how to deliver it because they don't know what's going on. I'd rather get up there and watch, watch CNN. So I'd rather watch Chris and Don and what are they, Anderson, just get up there and say, I don't know what the hell's going on, and watch them play cards. Because all that speculation, all the different guests, they don't know what's going on. It just keeps people off. It keeps people frustrated. It makes people anxious. All that stuff is ridiculous. And then Brandon said something about everything about black people is about prison reform, which.
You see, this is going back to that point. What I meant by this, did he ask what black people want to do? Was that him that asked that question?
A lot of people
because people already know I don't like Bernie. But just to use the example of when he's talking about prison reform, when Bernie Sanders ran in 2015, he always pulls out that I marched with MLK thing whenever they ask him about his civil rights work.
What have you done since then?
Nothing. So he met with, I'm trying to remember what the organization was in 2015. He met with this organization. They did an interview with him about criminal justice reform because he said, I want to reform the criminal justice system. They asked him, why are black people in jail more often than white people when it comes to criminal justice reform in relation to drugs? And he said, isn't it because most drug dealers are black? Like, this is not even me making this up. They asked him a question about why there are more black people in jail for non-violent drug offenses. He said because most black people who sell drugs are black, which is not true.
Yeah.
But you've positioned yourself as a civil rights champion, but you didn't even know that black people and white people commit the same offenses, but we're just charged and sit in jail more often for longer. But you're a civil rights champion and you march with MLK. But what did you learn from him? Nothing, apparently, because you said you thought they were just there because they're the ones who sell most of the drugs. It's not true. So, and what happened is he got criticized a lot because, like I've said before, he doesn't look at race as a larger issue in class. So when it comes to race issues, if you're going to talk about criminal justice reform, you have to know how race has created the criminal justice system we have now. But if you don't know that, you can talk about criminal justice reform all day if you don't know what makes up the reason why the system is so bad.
I think that, and I might have a really cool interview where I feel like the best cure and treatment for prison reform is to go back and do and insert programs that teach people not to be criminals. Because our society creates criminals and then we punish them for doing that. And that's not how it's supposed to be. If you live in particular areas, you don't have access to certain things, you're not making enough to. I heard a lot of people say, we didn't need to come to my job. So they even older guys that are doing it now, and they need them, assist them getting to the next level. And maybe some of that stuff would cut it.
Oh, it would. I mean, it's been proven that it would. Because Kamala Harris, she was a prosecutor, and she was the AG of California. And she put a truancy program. When she first announced she was running for president, a lot of people brought up this truancy program. And truancy is basically the kid that's not going to school the way they're supposed to. So she put in this truancy program that basically said if the kid is not going to school as much as they're supposed to, then law enforcement is going to get involved. So you had a lot of people who are saying, oh, that's just ridiculous, and she's anti-black because she's poor black women because their kids don't go to school. And first of all, people have to understand how things work. If I'm Attorney General of a state and you have whole swaths of kids who aren't going to school, and there's no kind of mechanism to hold anyone accountable, what do you think is going to happen? You think that situation is going to get worse or it's going to get better? It's going to get worse because there's no penalty or even the appearance of a penalty for people that have an incentive to say, hey, maybe I need to do that. So, make a long story short, she put this program in place, and the program, in reality, under her jurisdiction, I'll make that distinction, it never sent any parents to jail. What it did is it matched those who were homeless. A lot of them were single mothers. So a lot of times, it just was an environment where these people just didn't have access to things that they needed. They couldn't afford certain things. They had health issues, homeless. So what her office did is they matched people with the resources they needed. And truancy in that area dropped, I want to say 30%. And the reason why that's serious is because, according to just about every study, when truancy increases, and especially at a younger age, that has a down the line impact on where people end up. So, for example, a study shows that if you aren't proficient in reading by third grade, your likelihood of being a criminal and doing all kinds of things increases substantially. So, every time, that's what I'm saying. Like people want to hear what they want to hear without even looking at what it means. Because on face value, you can say, "Oh, this was wrong. She's making it a crime for your kid not to be going to school." But if you look at what actually happened after she put this program in place, then I feel like it was the right thing to do. And you don't have to agree with everything somebody does, but I feel like if you don't look at the underlying reasons and the results of what somebody did, even though on its face it looks a certain way, then you aren't critically thinking, in my opinion.
You can say that. You are in school. Somebody was showing that.
Yeah.
Figure out what is going on.
And you have people who are like, "Oh, that's ridiculous. And this is anti-black. She's enforcing white supremacy." And it's like, are y'all serious right now?
I've been saying this for a long time, and actually, this is what teachers do on technically a year this month. But the fact that people, I think, we as citizens, we want things to change. We that see it every day, we want things to change. But the people that are publicizing want to keep people at odds. They want to keep things going. And I did something the other day. I keep seeing these things on Facebook where this white person, this white guy, bus driver, who admitted to raping a 14-year-old and he didn't get any time, hit a restaurant sex offender, was arrested and got, I think, 10 months.
Talking about today, yeah.
So I actually went and looked up the correspondence of the black guy that was right next to him, got 12 years for kissing a girl. And that didn't sound like he was 12 years because of the kissing abilities. So I did. This black gentleman actually admitted to raping the girl. They didn't find any evidence of actual penetration, but he admitted to doing what he did. And these were in two different states. So New York has a different state than New York, by this function, the laws are different. But if you just read what was going on in the headline, right, from the headline, I think that's what a lot of people do. And I'm looking at all the comments underneath, and I'm like, did anybody bother to actually look and see what was going on with that? And that's how people aren't stepping outside the box. You just get that. It's like whatever you see is what you believe, and you don't bother to really research to find out the truth. So we don't want to worry about that. Right. So,
But it.
Since we're at our hour, it is time for pet peeves. And just so you know, Miss Presley, you know my pet peeve was leaving the trash can open. So I knew that you're at my house the other night because I came in and the trash can was open.
Really, Trey?
Yes. I knew he was here, so the trash can was open.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. He's going to say it doesn't close by itself. It should close. The trash can was open. And then, I don't really have it in the same ones still keep coming up. People changing lanes, they put their blinker on, they just change lanes. They don't bother to look. They don't bother to come. Putting your blinker on does not mean you can just move over. The whole texting and driving thing, I hope people still aren't doing that. I use my voice text if I actually need to text somebody. But
you have to speak for them.
You have to with my phone. You talk like from Australia. We both wanted to be talking like a kind of Australian accent. You'd be like, "Hey Siri, can you text someone for me?" And this thing to get that, but if you speak English.
You speak English.
But this lady was coming down the road texting, had her head down texting, driving in the middle of the road. Didn't know what the hell was going on. Just driving down the center lane, like half in one lane, half in the other lane, going down the very center.
Over here?
Yes, right on Piedmont.
On Piedmont?
Yes.
She's trying to die. She want to die.
Yes, didn't know what the heck was going on. So,
I have a pet peeve. Being that I work at Publix, I have a pet peeve. If you go into the grocery store and you don't read, don't come up there with the confidence of Almighty God that something is on sale and it's not, because you didn't read. Please don't do it. That pisses me off to no end, because I have to watch him behind my desk, go on the aisle and show you that you didn't read, and then you have to look at me like, "Oh, I'm sorry." Yes, you are sorry because you didn't read. That pisses me off.
most of the signs are buy two, get one free.
It literally explains everything in detail. It'll literally say excluding. It'll say not this size. It'll have the size parameters. If you don't read, please be right when you say this didn't rank up. I'm gonna be mad every time.
I saw a happy the one of the baggers, the people, the grocery workers, the shopping brothers. I saw those smiles there. I told her, I said, "You're the first one to this around."
Is the car? I know what you're talking about.
They walk around, they'll say anybody just.
Yeah, they normally miserable.
Yeah.
Yes.
I saw one of those smiles there. I had to point out to them. I said, "You're the first Instacart person that's so smiling."
I put that thing. Because I'm a bartender at Clubhouse. And my thing is when people come into the restaurant, one that has a $95 tab only tips $2. That's it. If you don't know how to tip, you shouldn't go out to. Did I say this before? You shouldn't go out to a restaurant. Two, does the sesame chicken and noodle actually have chicken in it? It does.
It says chicken.
Maybe. If you have an allergy,
what?
Some people ask like, does
the sesame chicken and noodle have chicken?
They were like, it doesn't say that on the menu.
Do they go to Popeyes and that's where they serve chicken?
I
It
don't know.
says something chicken. What you thought it was gonna be?
But another thing, if you have a food allergy, I don't feel like you should be going out modifying the menu to. You're just breaking it down to. That's it.
If you have a severe food allergy,
You don't need to go out.
Eating out is just
Yeah.
Eating out is very
There's gonna be something in there that's gonna have something you know in it.
And my sensitivity to seafood has been only more sensitive than ever. I have a hard time smelling it these days.
Yeah, because my family gets from the food. So anyway, they had cooked a big kind of like fish soup that we didn't get to eat, but he was in the kitchen baking biscuits, and he could not finish the biscuits. He couldn't finish it. He didn't even touch the pot. I turned on the pot, but he could not finish it.
I was good until it actually started. It got heated up, and then it was like, oh. I know one of my coworkers opened one of those little packs of tuna that are already done with the seasoning in it.
Jesus, so you can't smell seafood at all?
I can't. It's that stench that, like, because I baked some fish the other day and it was fine, but that seafood
Oh,
smell.
if it's strong.
Yeah. I
Oh,
can't
so
do
if it's like fresh.
yeah. It's like we'll walk through China and well, growing up, my dad cooked fish every Friday, so it was fun. I couldn't eat it. I just had to be around it. Like, I don't know how to eat it
My
anymore.
brother does certain seafood.
But piggybacking on what you said about the chicken, if you can't, I mean, you have to decide if you can actually afford to go out before you go out to eat. Because servers make their money on tipping. That's how they make their money. So if you only have $100 and you know you're about to spend 98, you probably should stay home. I mean, that's hard to
literally
say.
had a
But get
customer-
something cheaper because that's how they make their money. And $2 is not going to do it on a $95 tab.
I literally had a customer, and it's so funny because when as a server life, still it's all the same. Literally had a customer who sitting in the booth and they ordered maybe about $95, $100 worth. The bill was $99.85 worth of happy hour stuff, drinks, all that shit, and she handed me $100. and I don't know what it is, but I don't normally do stuff like that. But I opened up the book, the tablet, and I said, "You." I went back to myself. "You didn't really get it all right." She was like, "Yeah." So we had this like staring at her. So she went in her purse slowly, and she handed me the phone. I said, "Do you need a change?" And she said, "Yeah." And everybody no, that's not even 20%. No, you're not doing it. Like,
I believe they have.
No.
The side of that is everyone's trying to make a living. So if you know that servers are making their money on that, then you need to order that food so you can tip more, or you need to revise that situation.
Because you have a lot of ignorant people who would say, "Oh, we got included in the bill." No, it's not included in the bill.
Or they look for one little thing to not take.
but not even that.
Why-
Ignorance.
why-
So
why
you
do
need to
you think they have
educate
salt on
your
it? I'm telling you,
friends.
it's
That's a $5.
You need to educate your friends on that too. You know what I'm saying? It's like people go, "Oh, how much is something?" That's cool if you're asking that, but if you don't have enough to just give to yourself, you're paid $2.13 an hour. We don't see that much. When I say we don't, we don't. Yeah, we don't see that money. So what I'm saying? Like when you're ordering all this $100 worth of food, when we go to do our tip out of pay, we're essentially paying for that. When you don't tip us properly, because we get taxed on it. So food for thought. Don't go out if you can't afford to. That's just not even your meal and your drinks. If you can't afford to tip your server that's going back and forth for your condiments, hey, let me get 100 mustard, let me get a ranch. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we're paid to do. But at the end of the day, it's like that. Not based off of just people round up sometimes. No, don't round up.
When I go out with my friends, they be like, "Dang, you took that much?" I'm like, I grew up. My mother was a server for 15 years, so I said I understand that they do not get adequate.
And it's not bad.
It's really not a bad job.
It's good money. If you keep people at the time, you can do good shit.
But I think people, I don't want to turn into a focus on you, but I don't think people understand economics very well. It's just like people come to my job and they're like, "Oh, Publix is expensive." I'm like, "You want to know why Publix is a little bit more expensive than other restaurants? Because they pay us decent wages. So in order to cover our wages that they pay us, because I make decent money, they raise the prices a little bit, just a bit, like 10 cents more for something, 30 cents more for something that you normally would get cheaper at Kroger. But you know what they pay people at Kroger? Shit. So you get what you pay for. You get the service that you pay for as well. You wonder why when you go to Walmart and Kroger,
you can't find nobody in Walmart
because they don't enjoy working there because they don't make any money. So when you come to Publix, you get what you pay for. And that's it. I'm done.
I can never find anybody
a millionaire.
Oh yes, every manager I have had working at Publix are millionaires. And when they retire, they will be millionaires in everything.
Yeah, I never understood that because I know a friend of mine. She was old, but she had me work, and she actually lived with her grandmother. With a nice community, nice house, knew the whole whatever community. But she was at Publix. My mom was like, "How can you afford?"
Because at Publix,
she's been there for
Publix, they give you stock every year. Then they also match whatever you put into your 401k every year. So you basically get double the money every year into your 401k, and you also get stock from them every year. And the amount of stock you get determines on how long you've been at Publix. So right now, I've been at Publix for 5 years, and I get stock just for working. And it goes up every year. Same thing with my 401k. I just be like, "Hey, that's I know a lady. It's a lady. That store. She worked at that store when it opened. That store's been there for 20 plus years, and she's been the cashier there since it opened. She retired a millionaire, multi-millionaire, just from being a cashier. Because I had a situation happen to me where I was in an Uber and I was going to work and I had on my uniform and I did an Uber Cougars day because I was being stupid because I was trying to save money. Mm-hmm. So this girl, we're trying to pick her up, and she finally gets in the car after looking for her for like 10 minutes. And while he was on the phone looking for her, I was making comments like, well, technically when you do Uber Cougars, you're supposed to be outside already, and we should know where you are. So she gets in the car, and I guess she heard me. And she was like, "Oh, I don't even know you. And you on the phone talking about me, and you work at Publix. I'm a lawyer." I was like, "How do you know how much money I make? Do you know how much money people who work at Publix make? Probably more than you being a lawyer. So you can't just assume that because somebody works at a grocery store, they don't make any money, or you look down at them. Like, you don't know people. So for you to even make comments, like it's like you don't know what people got. The manager that hired me worked for Publix since he was 14, and amount of stock he had at 32 was millions of dollars, and he was 32. I said, so if you work for this company for 20 more years, you know how much money you're gonna have by the time you retire? So you can walk into that store right now and talk to that man like you trash, and you talking to a millionaire, but you think because he had a grocery store, he's nobody. That's why you don't talk to people any kind of way. You don't know who people are.
Marissa, if you're watching, this might be our outlet, so give me a text. We might need to go work for Publix. Let's talk about it. Right, you don't. I told you do.
That's what I told you. Yeah, you got to shop. If you shop Buy Me One Free and get one item, it's very simple.
Oh, yeah. All right, so guys, thank y'all for joining us on the Virtues today. Keep in mind that I get a lot of feedback and questions, but if you're going to give me feedback, make it helpful feedback. Don't just I have a friend that's actually going to invest in some cameras for me. So things are changing and things are looking up. So we want, if you're doing something that you want me to promote, send me a message and let me know what that is, because I'll certainly mention it. I'll mention it more than once. I'll mention it a few times because I want everybody to have that opportunity. I think that we all want to be move to a different level, get to a higher level than where we are. So if you have a business, if you have music, if you're recording a CD, if you're a rap artist or whatever it is you do, you have a event planning business, or who's your president of the United States, just let me know.
Absolutely.
So just let us know how we can help. And things are changing and things are getting bigger and better. That's things coming up. Also, my third book, The Coup Better the Devil You Know, will be out soon. So I've been promoting that too. You can get the other books on Lulu.com. The first one's called The Coup. The second one is The Coup Dark Origins. So those two are done. Thank you all for who's already bought them. I've got some really feedback. So some big things are coming for us all. So keep your prayers high, keep your confidence high, and watch out for those reptiles because we're going to point them out and hopefully we're strong enough to do that too. So again, thank you for joining us, and we're going to be off next Monday because it's Mother's Day, and I'll be out of town for that day. But the following Monday we'll be back, and we'll be sending out some messages telling you what we talked about.
Yeah. But I just want to say thank you to was it Brandon and yeah.
Yeah, we have some regulars, and it's funny how people, because everybody's working during when people have been watching the show after they're watching it later on, and that's a really good thing. Our numbers are going up. Please share the show. Yeah. Please share the show. I look in the comments all the time, and I will answer your questions if you ask them. If you have any, we'll definitely get back to you. We're still grounded right now, but like I said, this is why you can afford us because we are moving up. So things will be changing, but we'll still be there for you always. So thank you for joining us on Adventures, and until next time, we'll see you there.
Now we see here.
Right.